Hey guys, I am back today, finally. I'm sorry it's taking me a couple weeks longer than I would want, but whatever. I'm here today to tell you about my New Year's goals. This is a video I share every year. It's something I look forward to sharing, in part because it kind of forces me to sit down and do it when I might otherwise procrastinate on it. But also I find these sorts of videos really fun and motivational for myself as a YouTube consumer, because hearing about what other people are prioritizing for themselves and are wishing for themselves and planning for themselves, that makes me think of things that I want for myself as well, even if they're not the same sorts of things. I just find, and it's also interesting to hear what other people, you know, are planning on, what their goals are and everything. So that's why I continue to share this video. And just like in the past few years, I made one of my little charts here, and I'm gonna go over this. If you wanna take a look, that's what it looks like. This is a little Erin Condren dot grid notebook I have. But basically it's the same format I've been doing for the past couple of years, where I highlight some big picture concepts on this side, and they are actually my word of the year from the past 5 years. Not in order, but those are words that I've chosen to focus on for the past 5 years as like an overarching theme for the year. And then subcategories of each, kind of breaking that down, and then even further on this side where I go into more detail. So I'm gonna go through this with you and just express more about what I'm hoping for this year. I will say that 2019, as it seemed to have been for so many of us on this planet, was particularly challenging. Lots and lots of lessons learned, lots of lessons learned, and just lots of change that has spilled over into the new year. Lots of endings, and now with 2020, lots of beginnings. Still some endings that I'm tying up, but just really big life shifts and big stuff. And I've been hearing this from people from all walks of life too. So I think that's always interesting when you can, even if you have completely different life experiences, there's some big picture stuff that's kind of happening for a lot of people, and that's really cool. For me, that's spirituality, that's God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. That's the connection that you can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it, and that's like the soul connection. So I won't go too far into that, but that I don't know, that makes me feel really connected, which is very important. Part of my like core existence, I think, is feeling connected, and that's why it's one of my words. So I'm just gonna go in order of what I've broken down here. They're not in order of importance. They're all very important. There's one thing I'm especially focusing on this year, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes here, but everything else these are things I've just categorized them because I'm an organizer and that's what I do. And like I said, these have been my words of the year for the past 5 years. So under create, this is something I've had for the past few years in my goals. I have 2 subcategories. I have memory keeping, and I have content. So for memory keeping, this is like my passion project. Like, this is what brings me a lot of joy. It's my hobby. For me, that's, I break that down into projects. Project life is a year-long pocket style scrapbooking project that I've really fallen off the wagon with, and I'm really hoping to prioritize and get back into this year. It might take me a little time as I'm settling into some new changes, but it's definitely high on my list. And also one little word, which is the project where I pick a word that's kind of my overarching theme for the year. And this is an Allie Edwards project I've talked about before, I've shared about before. I will be sharing a recap of my 2019 one little word and talking about 2020 in an upcoming video if you're interested in hearing more about that. But this is really like a deep dive, and I actually wrote that one little word, I have in parentheses, deep dive, because that for me is soul work. It's memory keeping, yes, but it's really a lot of inner work. Whereas Project Life is more chronicling my life in my family. So a lot about my kids and my, my immediate family and my external family, friends, and things that happen like every day, a little snapshot, if you will, of every day. And then for content, obviously, this is my work. This is what I do. So trying to, I know it's just been hard to keep a regular schedule with all that's been going on. But YouTube, my blog, which I reawakened in December and then promptly left in the dust, but I will be back to that, and I will hopefully post on my blog very soon. Instagram, want to be regular on those places. Those are the places that I'm most engaged in social media, and those are my platforms of choice, if you will. I'm looking to expand upon my work. I'm in a position now in my life where I need to consider more specifically the career aspect, the money-making aspect, and that's never been my focus, and I continue to share out of authentically, I should say, just this desire to share and connect with people in this way. But I also need to have a bit of a reality check and make sure that I am producing regular content and finding a way to have some sort of somewhat predictable revenue to support myself and my beautiful children. So if I'm very open to suggestions on this, because I've seen people do Patreon with great success. I'm now eligible for a YouTube channel membership. That's where you would pay a certain amount, and I would have specific content just for my members. I don't know what the pros and cons are of each. I need to do the research on that. That's probably those are the two things I can think are the easiest ways for me to monetize. I'm not really looking to have any sort of merchandise at this point. Like I'm not an artist. I don't have a concept for any sort of merchandise right now, and that's not something I'm really, really interested in doing personally right this second. But it's ways for me to expand upon my content in a way that can produce some more reliable income to support me and my little family. Because this is what I do, and I love it, and I've been doing it for over 9 years, and this just makes sense to continue on doing if it's feasible for long-term financial security. I don't want anybody to worry. We're not like down on our luck or anything, but we are going from a larger household to a smaller one, and in terms of income. So it's just a matter of the numbers really, and thinking about long-term sustainability. But I would like to continue with this as my work if at all possible, especially while my kids are young and I want to be available for them. I want to continue to prioritize being a stay-at-home mom kind of capacity for my kids, and this kind of work really allows me to do that. So yes, input on that. Please weigh in. If that's something you would do, and what kind of things you would want to see through those memberships, if it was a Patreon thing or a membership thing, what kind of thing I could provide that would be different and special for those paying members, and if any of you would pay for that, because I'm just not sure you would. But let's think about that. Okay, and then the next big category, another word of the year. This was my word last year, actually. This is my 2019 word, connect. So I've broken that down into 3 categories. Family, obviously, always a priority for me. I'm huge on family time. And under the family subcategory, I've written time together and loving kindness. And time together, this is family gatherings. This is individual one-on-ones with my mom or my mother-in-law or my sister-in-law or my brother and his wife, like whenever we can do those. And then big group things too, and traveling together, and just little casual get-togethers. And I'd really like to start having the family over for dinner like once a month or something. I don't know, just something I just always want to prioritize time with family, and it's something I already do, but just keep that high on my list. And then with friends, I feel like I made a lot of progress in my friend category with my goals last year. That was something I felt I really hit in terms of my goals, was really being open and connecting much more than ever before. And I still have work to do, because I've said this before, I'm the type of personality who I just assume if somebody wants to talk to me, they'll reach out to me, and I don't want to be like a bother or burden to somebody by reaching out to them. And I realize that is just really ridiculous. So I've been trying to be better about reaching out to people and not just waiting for them to come to me, although still have a lot of work to do there. So I've written reach out, stay open. Pretty self-explanatory. And then also under connect, I've added followers, because this is something since having kids I felt haven't been as great as connecting with you guys, and I really want to get to a place where I can, it really comes down to a matter of time and time management, and I'm really want to work on this. And it's like I said, there's a lot of things shifting and changing, and a lot of my time is being allocated to things that are kind of out of my control right now that I have to address in terms of personal life stuff. So the next few months are probably going to be pretty busy with that. So it's going to be taking me a little time to get into my regular posting schedule and get to a place where I can find some sort of balance with being better in touch with you guys. On Instagram, in DMs, on the YouTube comments, and on my blog. Those are the places that's best to reach me. I would say probably best to reach me through the blog comments. That's actually probably the best place to reach me, but I really want to get better at it. So you guys are on my priority list. And emails, of course, I'm terrible at email. That's just like a personal life goal, is to get better at email in general, but that's, I don't know, it's overwhelming. It didn't make the cut. Maybe next year if I get my act together this year. Okay, I have breathe in really big letters here, because this is my word for 2020. And it's been calling to me for months. I find my word tends to pop out at me throughout the year, and it get really noticeable by the end of the year. I notice it a lot in things I'm reading or seeing or writing or whatever. And that it's just, I feel like I haven't breathed really properly in a very long time, and I'm finding the ways that I can actually force myself to breathe deeply and actually well is doing physical activity, moving my body in particular ways. So I've broken this down into 3 categories: yoga, and on that I have a daily practice. I did yoga with Adriene videos probably 98% of the days of 2019, and some of the videos are only like 10 minutes long. They range from like 10 to 40 minutes long on a daily basis. I'm doing her January home series right now, which is amazing, and these are all free videos. I am a paying member of her membership because I just like to support her as a small business owner, but also it's just convenient, the app, and you can download things when you're traveling and stuff. I like that. But her content is free on YouTube for the most part, so you can definitely follow along there. So continue my daily practice with yoga, and in parentheses here I've written look inward. And then my second big category is run. I've gotten way back into running in the last 6 months, and I'm hoping to train for a half. I'm hoping to train for another Disney half marathon. I'm hoping the wine and dine. I don't know if it will work out, but that's in November, so we'll see. And then in parentheses I've written look forward. And then the third category I have dance. And again, over the past 6 months I've gotten really into this cardio dance program called Work, W-E-R-Q. So I've written work it out, and then in parentheses I've written look to joy, because that honestly has been like movement therapy. These are all therapy for me, but the dancing, it just lifts me up in joy, even when I'm having the worst day of my life. And I find myself doing a little work. Like they have online stuff for free. They have some YouTube videos for free where you can follow routines. I love going to the class because there's nothing quite like having the instructor and doing it with a group. Kind of has that good vibe and energy. But I do a little work almost every day. So those are my breathe things, because honestly this is the only way I find that I'm forcing myself to breathe. And breathing is really important, especially when you're working through stress and anxiety and tension and pressure, and you kind of lose that breath. And I just feel like I've been holding my breath for years, and I just want to breathe this year. That's like the main thing. Well, it's not just the main thing, but that's my word. And that just filters down to everything else. If I can breathe and keep myself really grounded and healthy in that way, then I can be better to do all of these other things. Underneath that, I've written nurture. This was my first word of the year, and this was the year Charlotte, it was right after Charlotte was born, so it was 2016. I did not follow through with that because I had a newborn for the first time, and I didn't follow through on that project. But that was my word of the year, and I did carry it with me. I just didn't do the project properly. So this I have in 4 categories. I have kids. Always, always my number one priority. Above all else, they are my heart, they are my soul, they are everything. I've just written down here, be present, be patient, listen, and encourage. Those are the parenting things that I work on consciously every day. Those are the things that are very important to me. Of course, taking care of their physical and emotional health and making sure they have everything they need and getting them from point A to point B, and dance and gymnastics and to friends, parties, and that's all important. But to me, these are critical parts of being a good parent for me that I need to continue to focus on and prioritize. And I've actually have a separate box for Winnie. Winnie is really, she's 10 and a half now. She's over on the bed. My little Shih Tzu, if you don't know, she's my little dog. She's 10 and a half. She's really, really, really slowing down big ways. She's still really well. She's in great health, but I know she's sleeping a lot more. She's still very peppy on our walks, and if you tell her you're giving her a COOKIE, she will come jumping off the couch like she's 10 months old and not 10 years old. But I just feel this, the time is getting away from me with her, and it's just gonna make me cry. I just wanna make sure that I'm really, really, really focusing on her every day as much as I can. I already do, but I just feel like that our time together is fleeting. I really wish our pets could live as long as we do. I know some birds do, but most dogs and cats do not live as long as people. I'm getting emotional. So anyway, I basically just said time together on that, focus on time together. And then for self, I've broken this down into 4 sub points. Reflect, and to me I do that through journaling mostly. Learn and grow, and I do those things mostly through reading. I do want to focus on reading. You can see I've kind of changed things up back here. I've got all my books now in my room, and it makes me so happy when it's the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning is that wall of books. And that just, it's like a really happy reminder for me that I have all of these resources here. And I really think books can be like really good friends in quiet moments. And I want to get back and really get back into reading. I have been very slowly getting back into a daily reading practice, but even more so, it's just a matter with little kids, as some of you who are moms will know, it's just a matter of time. And as they get older, I get a little bit more time for those sorts of pursuits. And then I've written in a cursive here, LovingKindness, and this is huge. Just something that I want to be kind to myself, and I feel like I have been doing a really good job of that through all that has transpired, especially in 2019. I used to be so really freaking critical of myself, and I still am by nature very self-critical. I tend to accept blame that I put on myself, or sometimes other people put on you, but for things that you should, like that I'm not at fault for, or I'm not solely at fault for. And I'm just doing so much, I've done so much work to get out of that. It's really a vicious cycle because it feeds itself. And really, when I find myself going that route in my brain, like it's almost like literally pulling myself out of that, being like, no, I love you. You are strong, you are capable, you are compassionate, you are a good person. Yes, you're human, you make mistakes, but you have good intentions and you have a good heart. And that's loving kindness. That's just really treating myself the way that I try to treat other people. And being kind to yourself is really, really important, because then, like I said before, you are just more able, I find, I'm generalizing you, but I should say this is really just my experience here. I'm generalizing. I have a bad tendency to do that, but I just find that I am better able to be really loving and supportive for other people when I'm really loving and supportive for myself. And then the last one here, just spacing wise, the box got smaller, but this is a big one for me. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. And I've made it its own kind of like big thing. I've written home in big letters. And underneath that, all I've written is prioritize. I really want to focus a lot of energy on my home this year, on making it really truly a sanctuary, a safe harbor, a really just, it's a real home. I mean, it is a home, you know, but to me, this is a really, really important time to focus on that. And it doesn't mean buying a whole bunch of stuff and like changing everything, but it means things like pulling in some bookshelves we already had, bringing all my books in here, because it makes me feel really good in the morning and the evening when those are the first and last things I see. It means really getting organized, continuing to purge. I want to purge so much this year. I just want to get rid of so much we don't need. It means making it a really fun and happy and secure place for my kids, a real home base, and a place that they feel really, really connected to. So that's huge on my list today. I'm sure not this today, but this year, today and every day, this will be reflected in my content. I'm sure there will be videos. And then the last category here I have believe. And this was my word a couple of years ago. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. So I've broken this down to 3 categories. I have spirit. So to me, spirit and God spirit is synonymous with God to me. Just continue my work with prayer. I've been doing a lot of communing with God in the past, I would say in the past 6 months especially, and just continuing that. It's become almost like a purposeful daily practice for me. I used to do it more subconsciously, and now it's kind of more like a conscious act. And I've written under that, be guided, because I'm finding when I'm communing with God and then I quiet my mind, I am guided. I'm given guidance a lot of the time when I really, really need it. I just need to quiet and hear it. And that, I don't know, it's just given me a lot of peace. So continue on that journey. And then I've written magic, and magic is huge to me. This kind of goes, I mean, these are all connected, right? And I'm not talking about like pull a rabbit out of a hat magic. I'm talking about just, it's about spirit, really. It's about connection. It's about really noticing things. For me, magic is about noticing, and it's not just like the big stuff. It's not just like the huge, like, wow, aha moments, or huge celebrations, or huge milestones. To me, it's that, sure, but it's also the little tiny stuff every day, the tiny little moments, the little treasure. There's so much treasure in these tiny moments. The way my kids will hug each other just for a split second in between arguing about some toy, you know, and then that'll be a really sweet split second where they just kind of cuddle into each other, and then it's gone. But just like focusing on that really beautiful sunrise, or just noticing the little stuff. I don't know, it makes a huge impact in my experience every day. I would lump into that, I don't lump sounds so negative, but I would also say my gratitude practice. I have a daily journaling gratitude practice, is a lot about noticing the little things and celebrating the little things. If you're not doing a daily gratitude practice, this is a really easy and quick way to really impact your life in a huge way. I write down just 3 little gratitude points every day. Could be anything. There's no right or wrong for this. And it just, I don't know, it's the last thing I do before I go to sleep, and it just puts me in such a good mindset to rest and then to wake up on a really good foot. So I've written under there, seek joy in the big and small moments. That kind of, I just said that in many more words. And then lastly, I've written love. And under that, I've said, have courage and be kind. It's actually one of my favorite Lillian & Co. bracelets. This is a quote from the Cinderella live action movie that came out. It's been a while now, years, but that stuck out with me when I first saw that movie. And I actually only saw it the one time in theaters, but it's been kind of my mantra for the past few years, and especially right now. There's just so much difficult, I feel like there's a lot of negativity, and there's a lot of opportunities for negativity, not only in, you know, my personal life, but also just in the world at large. From my perspective, I just feel a lot of that, and it makes, I mean, being kind does take courage in this world, unfortunately. It is not the go-to. People, there's a lot of cynicism, there's a lot of darkness, but there's also so much light, but it takes effort. It takes effort to shine through, to shine through all the murky stuff. And to me, it's the ultimate, like, that's my moral grounding, is in kindness. And you do have to have courage for it. I really do believe that. It is not courageous to be mean and negative. That is not courage. That is not, that is taking the easy way. That is, I don't know. I don't want to go off on a tangent here. Standing up and saying no to that trend of just real negativity, that is strength, and that is real courage. And I just want to continue on with that, and just, you know, to kind of connect those all. It could easily be in a place where I feel jaded by love, and all of that, and I'm really not. I am a forever love optimist. I'm a romantic at heart. It brings me so much joy and just real hope for, like, the world at large, to see positive love wherever, in media, in, you know, real life, as they say, anywhere. It just, to me, that love is hope. And I think I'm going to end it there. So, because this is a long video. This is always a very long video. Who am I kidding? All my videos are very long videos. Anyway, there it is. Those are my 2020 thoughts of the moment. I'm not trying to purposely gloss over anything important. I sat down and I did this today, and it felt very complete. Of course, there's a lot of little details that go into that. Like, for instance, I haven't planned I haven't used a planner in 3 months. Confession time. I should have said confession time first. Confession time. I haven't used a planner in 3 months. Over 3 months. Well, I just ordered a whole bunch of planners. I am planning my life. Like, I'm getting organized. That's all a part of that. That's all a part of creating and nurturing myself and connecting and believing. It's all places. I mean, everything. I feel like it's all connected. So I'll be sharing about my new planning system for 2020 soon too. I know some of you people are planner folks. I'm coming back fully to the ECLP fold. If you're an Erin Condren person, you know what that means, but I'll be sharing more about that soon. And I don't know. I just feel like I have a lot of, just a lot of hope and a lot of optimism about this year. And I think that is a great testament to my strength. And for that is probably what I'm most grateful for from 2019. From like an inner work perspective, always going to be most grateful for my children for as long as they have been conceived of. I am most grateful for them, bar none. Like, they are absolutely the highest of high. But in terms of my personal, just me, I am very, very, very proud of myself for the strength, for my strength in 2019, and I know I carry that into 2020, and that is what is carrying me into this place of optimism and hope, because I've come from some really dark places, and I've come out of them really feeling very triumphant. And it's not to say there aren't going to be other dark times and other difficulties, because that's just life. Everybody has those. That no circumstance excuses you from having to deal with the highs and lows of life. But I feel very, very good about me, and I'm proud of that. Anyway, I hope you are feeling good about you. If you need a little encouragement, try the gratitude practice. I really, really think you'll find it's not instantaneous. Some people think it is. To me, it was just a little thing I could do every day, and over the years, I know it has just made a huge difference, and that's why I continue to do it 5-6 years on. But anyway, that would be a little nugget I would impart if you need to hear those sorts of words. But know that you are strong, and you are loved, and you can choose kindness to yourself and others regardless of your situation. And it's not always easy, but you can do it, and it will improve your life and the lives of your loved ones. It will, because it filters out. Anywho, I will be back next week, hopefully talking to you about one little word and some new planner updates I'm excited to share about. And I hope you are all well. Just want to say as we close here that I just am very grateful. Thank you for everything that has been coming my way. In the past week, it has been overwhelming in a very positive way, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you for your support and your kindness and your encouragement. I know I say those things, and I've said them for years because I feel them really truly, but especially right now, it's just, I feel it. I literally feel it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, here's to breathing deeply in 2020 and connecting and sharing together. Love you guys. Thank you for watching, and take very good care. Wishing you all a happy, healthy new year. Let's go 2020. All right, you guys. Bye.